The spirits featured in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate are basically the new trophies of the series. However, they often lack the context the trophy descriptions provided. So we decided to go into more detail with these nostalgic bits of Nintendo history and offer up some details about them, as well as the fights that are tied to them. Welcome to the first episode of Spirit Tome. First up is Raymond Bryce from Disaster Day of Crisis. Before Xenoblade, Monolith Soft bizarrely made Disaster Day of Crisis as one of the company's inaugural projects as a Nintendo subsidiary. This early Wii game stars this spirit, ex-Marine Raymond Bryce. He's off fighting natural disasters in a villainous organization called Surge. And Surge is gonna set off like all these nukes and make more natural disasters. It's pretty batty. That's reflected in his spirit match to a degree. It features earthquakes and strong wind gusts on Fourside from Earthbound as you try to take out Fox, who I guess is the closest they could find to being a generic male from an action movie. It's a neat touch, and is representative of the oddities of the earlier Monolith title. Disaster's a weird game. As time goes on, Nintendo of America probably made the right call not to release it over here, though the game came out in most other regions in 2008. Thankfully, it lives on in Super Smash Bros. Long live Raymond Bryce, may you become a blade in future Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC. Next is the villainous Pigman, Pigma Dengar from Star Fox. Pigma made his debut in Star Fox 2, well, I guess technically he actually made his debut in Star Fox 64, since now we're in the world where Star Fox 2 was a new game in 2017 thanks to the Super Nintendo Classic. Generally speaking, Pigma's a big old jerk, as his origin is that he used to work with Fox's daddy, James McCloud, but betrayed him in such a way that he could say, "Daddy screamed real good before he died," which is not something a good person would ever say. In Star Fox 64, he was aligned with Wolf and his Team Star Wolf, trying to stop Team Star Fox at every turn. After the events of Star Fox 64, or Zero, or whatever Star Fox canon is these days, Pigma wound up leaving Star Wolf and in Star Fox Assault on GameCube, wound up working for the infecting Aporoid army, which eventually consumed him as one of their own, and he became an unholy mutant that Fox and the gang destroyed. I'm disappointed Fox didn't relay back to base that Pigma screamed real good when he died. That just desserts. His Aporoid form also showed back up in Star Fox Command on DS, serving as a major boss tied to some of the game's many endings. His matchup in Smash Ultimate is a twofer. Wario represents Pigma, while Wolf, Star Wolf, also helps him out. Pigma Wario's speed increases the more damage he takes, and he generally avoids conflict at all costs. Getting Wolf out of the picture early makes it more of a, like a dogfight of sorts. Like it would be from some kind of space shooting game. Maybe. But no matter how you view it, whether it's, dogfighting, cat or mouse, what have you, you gotta smash Pigma Wario at some point, because after all, someone's gotta make Pigma scream real good before you smash him. Our third spirit for this episode is Charlotte from the DS Castlevania game Portrait of Ruin. According to noted Castlevania maker Koji Igarashi, Charlotte is a loose descendant of Sypha, a playable character in Castlevania III Dracula's Curse, which was on the NES. Charlotte was one of the two initial playable characters in the 2006 DS game, which helps to explain the setup of her Smash Bros. Match. Charlotte is a witch who, gameplay-wise, differentiates herself from the typical playable Belmont by having magic spells as sub-weapons. That's why Zelda is a good representation of her in Smash Bros., especially with her focus in this specific event match of side specials and more powerful special moves. Richter Belmont appears during her fight, representing Jonathan Morris, the other playable character in Portrait of Ruin, who is cut more from the Belmont cloth, or, his case, his father John Morris, who is the star of the Genesis game Castlevania Bloodlines. My Castlevania lore isn't totally up to snuff, but I'm pretty sure that the Morris clan, of which Jonathan and his father are part of, do have ties to the Belmonts. Richter actually is playable in Portrait of Ruin in the unlockable Richter mode that replaces Jonathan Morris with Richter and Charlotte with Maria Renard. Let's close out this one with one spirit that I think would be less possible than Castlevania being in Smash Bros. That would be Shantae. Shantae from Way Forward debuted on Nintendo platforms on Game Boy Color in 2002, fashionably late to a system that was essentially replaced the year before by the Game Boy Advance. The game grew to cult status as it was hard to find and often spoke about in hushed tones. Shantae's creator Matt Bozon and the crew at WayForward seem to always long to revisit the series after the Game Boy days, but other projects always seem to get in the way. In 2010, 8 years after the first game's debut, Bozon and the team worked on the DSiWare game Shantae Risky's Revenge, which was a fun, if limited, return for the heroine. A few more years would pass before WayForward could revisit the series, but the next release, the 3DS first Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, was the pinnacle of the franchise. Seriously, Pirate's Curse is awesome, and hey, it's also on Switch if you want to go check it out. A 2013 Kickstarter led to the eventual release of Shantae Half Genie Hero in 2016, which, like Pirate's Curse, is also on Switch, and also, you know what, well worth checking out. So that's where Shantae as a game series is right now, but her consistently adoring Nintendo legacy is what got her into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Shantae's been at the forefront of different Nintendo indie revolutions, be it the early 2000s, the DSi and the 3DS days, or the cusp of the Switch's explosion. Her appearance in Smash Bros. Is suitable for her style, as she is represented by a bikini-clad Zero Suit Samus on the Wind Waker pirate ship stage. Battering items have increased power, and Shantae Samus starts with the Killing Edge sword, which is probably the closest they could aesthetically get to Shantae's own weapon. So there's the pilot episode for Smash Spiritomb. Let us know what you think, and be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Any specific spirits that you want to know more about, be sure to hit us up. There's like a bajillion of these things in this dang game, so if we keep on doing these videos, we could be here for, I don't know, something like 4 or 5 years. Please help us, give us some guidance, give us some direction. There's a Teleroboxer spirit that's going to be on the next episode. That's a teaser. Teleroboxer is a Virtual Boy game. It's really cool. If you check NintendoWorldReport.com, I did an unboxing of Teleroboxer like 6 years ago because I bought a copy sealed on eBay because the Virtual Boy is weird. Anyway, thanks for watching and enjoy Smash Brothers. Bye.